Hello, this is Wiggzaro here, and just completed Living Tantra Training 9 with Jan Day, and this is the second seminar. Yeah, and what can I say? Another beautiful weekend, loads of insights, loads of understandings. Every time I do this work, I feel like my system is being recalibrated, and that I come into a new sense of awareness and confidence in myself. I become more comfortable with a whole range of different situations and feelings and things that in the past used to terrify me. So it really is amazing to notice. I think for me, fundamentally, the difference within, for me, it's all about a feeling thing, and how I'm feeling within myself and how that is changing. Even in the outside world, how much more comfortable I'm feeling in myself, how much more confident, how much more alive, playful. Lots of beautiful transformations that I see myself going through. This weekend's sort of key themes were safety, and safety from the perspective of emotional safety, and what makes us safe or what makes us unsafe. And it's one of those things that I'm learning that keeps recalibrating, whereas things that I was terrified of, for example, communicating with people about things that I might want, or especially in intimate situations, that all of a sudden, through a few exercises, I have become a lot more comfortable and confident in myself in being able to voice those things. So my level of where I feel safe to engage and communicate is completely being calibrated. Where I feel safe to fall into a place of intimacy and affection is completely being recalibrated into a much healthier, loving place. I did something to my shoulder last night. One of the cards I pulled yesterday was playful. There's some cards on the altar, and playfulness has been one of the key things that I've experienced coming into myself recently, and especially over this weekend. I've discovered a new element of playfulness, and on the dance floor yesterday I went and jumped on a whole of mattresses, and then I ran around and thought I'd jump over the couch onto the mattresses, but I kind of misjudged the distance, and I ended up dislocating my shoulder, which was quite a painful experience, and it meant I missed last night's session, which was a bit sad for me, and I ended up on a whole trip in the hospital, a whole trip in the ambulance to a hospital in Yeovil, and yeah, the interesting thing for me has been to see how I've responded to it. It was extremely painful at the time. The laughing gas wasn't helping, the injections they gave me wasn't helping. It was only once they put it back in that the pain sort of subsided. But what's been really interesting for me is just to see how I've dealt with it mentally. There are parts of me that went into a victim mode of, oh, poor me, I've done this, and like, and I've just been getting fit and strong, and now like I've hurt my body, so I can't do my pull-ups and my push-ups, and I've got to work this week, and I need to be able to use my cameras and all those things. But then there's another part of me which has been to totally come out of victim mode and to look into the opportunities that I have to learn and grow through this. The mental approach that I take to dealing with this. So for example, okay, right, I can't work my upper body, I'll work my core. Right, okay, I might struggle with my cameras this week on the job, but I can find a way. It's going to be a challenge to see how I'm going to pull that off, because I need those jobs, so I will still do them somehow or other. in the case of missing out on last night's sort of workshop experiences, well, I had a whole nother experience in the ambulance and at the hospital with two of my fellows here from the workshop, and once my shoulder was back in, we had a good laugh and shared some stories and some great moments. So I'm really looking at how I turn this into a positive. What is it teaching me? What's the lesson? One of the big lessons for me is having conviction and listening to my intuition, because when I ran around to jump over that couch, firstly, I had this moment of doubt, so I didn't have complete conviction in what I was doing, and because I had that moment of doubt, I didn't listen to that intuition. So if I had complete conviction, I would have launched myself properly and landed on top of the mattresses instead of on the side and fell off and dislocated my shoulder. And if I'd listened to my intuition, it might have been a warning sign, just hang on, wait a minute, and I would have gone the other way. So I'm really looking at, what lessons can I learn on every level through this. One of the great things I did experience was just having a lot of love and support around me while I was in that pain. And that was really comforting, because I dislocated my shoulder 30 years ago playing rugby, but I remember it was a very lonely experience where, I was at a hospital and then I was in the school sanatorium, but I didn't really have any emotional connection, or I didn't know how to express myself, or, ask for comfort, or so yeah, I had a lot of support and comfort around me, and that was a positive experience for me, I must say. So even though my shoulder's a bit sore today, I'm going to take away a lot of positive things with it. My attitude is, well, it's happened, so I can choose my emotional response, I can choose my mental response, and I'm just going to look at it in the most positive way possible, because that will facilitate my healing in the quickest way possible. Yeah, other than that, connection has been a big topic for me throughout this work, and what I really realized recently, I went to Spirit Fest, and which was a very heartfelt, warm, loving festival. I had an amazing time, but what really came home to me is how much I've grown inside myself, and how much my ability to reach out and connect with people in more loving, compassionate, honest, open, truthful ways has just expanded, and how my friendship circles of it are expanding, my sense of belonging to these different communities in different places is expanding. It just feels like my whole life is expanding, and I really believe that a big part of that is because I'm doing the internal work. I'm doing the internal work to transform myself into a more loving, compassionate, affectionate, caring man, and learning how to communicate more efficiently and effectively, and taking a deeper interest in people, and learning how to listen more attentively and with more interest, should we say. Yeah, and how that is reflecting in the world outside me as I make these changes inside me. My world around me changes into a much more beautiful place. So, as always, Jan's work is phenomenal, and the way she puts her programs together I just find absolutely astounding. And what's also really lovely is, for me, is to see, because we're in a closed group, there are 30 or 40 of us here, with the assistants, and it's just interesting to see how other people on the course are also transforming and stepping into new places in themselves, and it's really, really quite touching for me to see other people go through their learning and growing experiences, and every story that's shared, I feel like a part of me is healing through that as well, and a part of me is expanding through that as well. Every experience that's shared. So I really do feel like very grateful, incredibly grateful. In fact, last night I went for a whittle under the stars at 3 o'clock in the morning after coming back from the hospital. I think we got back at 1:30 in the morning, but I fell asleep and then I woke up, my arms in a sling, and the stars were out and I could see the Orion's belt, and I just felt this deep sense of gratitude for being held in this place by so much love and compassion and care. And despite the fact that I have some pain in my shoulder, I just really felt quite, this immense sense of gratitude, and that I'm really going to embrace every opportunity that I have, and I'm going to embrace this healing my shoulder as really a way to look at different aspects of how I can heal myself in that process. So yeah, that's how I'm going about it. Yeah. And all the lovely beings that are on LTT9 with us, I love you all. You're all such beautiful people. And Jan and Frida, so much gratitude and love for you. The work you do is phenomenal, and I feel like my life is touched forever for the better. Namaste. I can't get my other hand up, so it's a one hand namaste. And blessings to all of you. Bye.